All right, good day again. Number 2 today. So, 2 things I found interesting today. One was I read a newspaper article on the CBC, and it was about Coke machines, or vending machines. They're vending machines, I won't say the Coke, at the University of Waterloo. And they found that they had in them facial analysis features. And how they figured it out, this is just according to the article, is some guy, a student, is walking by and he sees an error message on the display on the vending machine, and it said facial recognition, not, it's not working. And so he's like, facial recognition on a vending machine, what's going on? So he brings it attention to the university, etc., etc., etc. Now they're getting rid of the machines, and they wrote a letter to the company who provides the machines, which is some Swiss-based company. And they said, get rid of your machines as soon as possible, and until you do get rid of them, disable that feature. So to me, that brings up a whole bunch of questions that were not actually written in the article. And well, some of the questions were, like, why do you have facial recognition in your vending machines? And they said, well, actually it's not facial recognition, it's facial analysis. So they still get stuff like your age, your gender, things like that, what you're buying, and they're using it for their algorithms to find out what's selling and what's not selling, so that they can do better business, so they don't waste food that's in the vending machine, etc., etc. Now, the questions that I have are kind of like, well, that sounds like a load of BS to me, because you know what's selling and what's not selling, because when you go to refill the vending machine, the stuff that's sold is not there. The stuff that is sold is there. So you already get analysis over time.
What does that have to do with age and gender at all?
Well, yeah, I know. I mean, also because it's on a university campus. So probably 90% of the sales, at least, are probably to people between the ages of like 18 to 23. And, because it's mostly university kids. Maybe there's a few professors in there as well. And so it's like, it seems weird. So they're saying they're getting all your facial data, but they're just not doing it for recognition purposes. And then it seems weird to me that the university allowed for those machines to be there in the first place. And that either means they knew that technology was in the machines and they're okay with that, or they didn't read the fine print. In which case, if you're not reading the contract, why are you not reading the contract? Right? That to me is kind of weird. And obviously, this technology is not being used only for vending machines. It's probably used in a whole bunch of other places as well. And then on top of that, slightly different but sort of similar, is that led me into sort of just saying something to people who were working with me at the time. And Amy said, because I had mentioned the book 1984 somehow, and Amy said that book is banned now in the US. And I thought, this is crazy. I mean, to ban that book.
What is the book?
I mean, the book is by George Orwell, and it's all about basically an authoritarian society where the state is taking over. And the state does everything from propaganda to everything. They're controlling your thoughts, they're reading your thoughts, and it's like mind control. And you shouldn't think, because if you think the wrong thing, you can be jailed for that kind of stuff. So they're taking it not just from an authoritarian perspective, but they're also taking it from a cognition and a thought. It's an attack on ideology. It's an attack on having ideas.
Everything is an attack on ideology. It just depends which ideology you have.
Yeah, but everybody should be having a conversation about different ideologies, so we can understand each other.
But that conversation is also an attack on another ideology.
No, it doesn't have to be. It doesn't have to be an attack. It can also come from the point of just dialogue. It can be, sure, but I don't see...
The absence of the conversation is an attack on a certain ideology, then the fact that the conversation is there is also an attack on another one.
I think two people can talk with different ideologies and respectfully speak with each other.
What if somebody
and try to understand each other?
Of somebody's belief system is that you should just think to yourself, and that's it. Never dialogue with other people.
Well, then they're obviously not going to be part of that conversation, are they? So they're not going to have a conversation. It's only going to be between people who are willing to speak.
I'm just giving you problems.
I know you're giving me problems, and that's fine. And we should be able to have different ideas. And
okay, so what's the problem with the face recognition? What is it going to do? Like, what could they possibly be using it for that's bad?
Well, I think it's more maybe they're not using it for anything that's bad right now. But the point is where does it stop? How much is that technology going to be integrated into society? How much of that is going to play into a social credit score, like what they're doing in China, where they got cameras everywhere? And then if you think the wrong thing, and Charles, what's his Schwab, the leader guy of the World Economic Forum, I just saw an interview with him where he actually said, based off of all of these technologies, give it a few years, 10 years or so, he's like, we won't even need to have elections because of the predictive algorithms, the predictive software, where they're already going to know how people will vote.
Oh, that's bullshit.
Therefore, you don't need to have an election.
Who said that?
Charles Schwab. I think that's his name. He's the head guy.
What credentials does he have?
Pardon me?
What credentials does he have?
Well, that's just it. I don't know which credentials
That's the stupidest thing I've ever heard. That's never going to ever be a thing in a democratic society.
Yeah, exactly.
No, it's never. Come on, what kind of stupid bullcrap is that? How can you even take that as real information, as an actual source? Because unless it's something that you laugh at, come on.
I do laugh at it, but I'm also scared of it at the same time because
that's so.
This isn't some
happen.
schmuck. This isn't just some schmuck making this up. This is the head guy of the World Economic Forum, who basically has a hand in how societies are run and governments are run.
Yep, they also thought we'd have flying cars by 2016, Back to the Future, or 2015.
Okay, but so he's one of the guys who said, okay, you're going to own nothing and you're going to be happy about it. And we see this massive push towards subscriptions on everything. You own nothing, so that you won't have to own your own car, because you can just rent a car whenever you need it. It'll be so convenient. It'll be better for you, and everything's going to be better for you, but you'll own nothing. Right? These are like his ideas. A lot of this far left type of ideology is coming from him.
Most money that anybody has just isn't real. It's just not there. There's out of, I think in the US there's something like $90 trillion or something in circulation. That might be a completely false number, but only 8-10% of it, and probably even less than that, is actual cash. It's all just a number on a screen. It's all fake.
Yeah.
It's all just by the click of a button. You make another trillion, you make another whatever.
Yeah.
And then that does obviously
no, they don't just
economy.
make it. They actually steal it from you.
Yeah.
Okay. The reason why it's stolen from you is because...
Okay, but you could just make more.
No, but if the government prints more money, they just make more money, whether it's on a computer screen or they actually... if they create more money, it comes from somewhere. And ultimately where it comes from is you, because it comes through the taxes.
Doesn't have
That's
to
why
be like
inflation goes up and taxes go up.
It used to be you'd have silver coins or gold coins.
Yeah, it used to be. Not anymore, though.
And money was
based on a gold standard.
Money would be measured in gold, but that's not how it is anymore.
Yeah, I know.
A number in a bank isn't worth something in the real world. A number on a screen isn't you know what I'm saying? It's not.
No. They print the money now, but they still have to gain it back.
Where do you think that 90 trillion came from?
It comes from your tax dollars.
No, where do you think it came from? From the beginning of
right. So
US
they print more money, basically. Now, whether they actually print it, I have to pick up a prescription for Chloe. Whether or not they actually print it or not is that's just red tape technical terms. I don't know, but to get more money, it has to come from somewhere. So now they raise taxes and inflation and all these kinds of things, because now through your interest payments, that's how you're paying for it. So to some extent, you could say they're stealing from you, because you're paying out without, they're not taking the money from the budget they already have. They're just printing more money and then saying, okay, well now interest rates have gone up, and so you're paying for it.
Of course, you're not taking money from the budget. The states are like 30 trillion in debt.
Yeah, it's like $250,000 for every citizen.
Yeah. And hey, what was it? I think there was like 3 trillion US dollars that
I just couldn't find it.
that
Like, oh,
are
there we go.
untraceable.
Yeah.
That got lost during COVID.
Yeah.
Lost during COVID, but like the IRS will put you in jail for $200 that
Yeah.
you can't find. But yeah, $3 trillion just disappears like that, right? And then the like 8 billion something for Ukraine that's just gone. Nobody knows where it is.
But the point being is it ultimately comes down to more and more and more control. And to control things, you also have to track things. And that's where using this facial recognition more and more comes in.
But look, if the technology exists and technology will make people more money, it's not gonna disappear. It's just not gonna happen.
It doesn't bother you?
Well, it bothers me, of course,
Right.
but it's not gonna go away because
No, I didn't say it's gonna go
like
away.
look at all these things that have detrimental effects to our environment that we use to make money, like oil, whatever natural resources they use up, like cars and everything, all the fumes that go into the atmosphere, everything. It's more convenient for us and it makes money. So it's not gonna disappear because
I didn't say it's gonna disappear. I don't think it's gonna disappear.
I'm just telling you.
But I am just saying, so are your thoughts going to disappear? No, your thoughts aren't going to disappear, but the control of your thoughts are going to be more and more. If you have a social credit score, you're going to act in a way so that you have good credit. Now, that could be good in the sense of you might not do anything wrong, but it's also who gets to decide what's right and wrong, and should you be compelled as opposed to having choice.
What is quality?
Quality?
What is it?
Quality is what you like.
That's an opinion. What is quality?
What you like.
What is quality? What you like is a purpose.
Something well done.
Define well done.
What you like.
It's opinion. That makes sense.
But this is my issue now with putting that together with 1984 being banned because it's a book that for me is on the must-read list.
That sounds cool.
It's a must-read list because it's all about critical thinking and understanding that you should think. And when people control your thoughts or disallow you from thinking, that only leads to bad places.
Do we have that book?
I just ordered it. It should be arriving today or tomorrow.
You heard it was banned in the States. It's not banned in the States,
Actually,
is it?
that's what Amy said. I haven't checked it out yet.
I don't think that's
Actually,
banned in the States.
I ordered the book on Friday. I ordered the book on Friday, and I found out today that it's banned.
That's bullcrap.
Yeah, so I'm going to order more copies.
It's not banned.
I got to go get that piece of paper. I'll be back in a second.